Is Vegas cursed in some way? If not, then why are places that were once symbols of the city, from the Tropicana and Flamingo to even the Rio, now empty as if their souls have been drained? Rio was once a breath of fresh air in the 90s, where light music and laughter blended in an eternal party. The dazzling parade in the sky shows dancers soaring through the air and buffets once considered the best in Vegas. All of these once made Rio the dream destination for every visitor. But today, stepping into Rio, all you can smell is dampness. See rows of closed shops, empty swimming pools and room doors untouched since the last century. Some people blame inflation or the tech boom that made Vegas seem old-fashioned. Some people believe that the new corporations have turned this city into a playground for investors rather than a land of dreams. But the truth is probably more bitter. Rio is not cursed. It's just burning itself out in the brilliant illusion it created. In today's video, join us as we explore what really happened to this once iconic hotel and why this $100 million failure could be a prophecy of Las Vegas's true fate. There was a time when Vegas wasn't just a place to gamble. It was a place where people believed in miracles. In the mid-1990s, Rio exploded like a samba tune in the desert, where people from all walks of life, from taxi drivers to movie stars, could join in the same dance. It was a time when Vegas was like a party with no exit, where laughter and light spread faster than radio waves. Parade in the Sky, the aerial parade, is not just a show, it's the soul of Rio. The parade floats soared through the ceiling like angels suspended in the Vegas galaxy. The neon lights reflected off each coin, each cocktail glass, making the entire casino shimmer like a human-made Milky Way. And when the crowd looked up, they weren't praying. They just wanted to believe they were still young, still hopeful. Rio's buffet back then was legendary, a place where for just $20, you could buy the feeling of being a billionaire. Lobster, Alaskan crab, melting grilled beef, all laid out under the lights like a feast for those who still believe in the American dream. Here, an ordinary worker can sit and eat next to a businessman, both raising their Bud Light glasses and laughing as if time has stood still. For many, it was the last time Vegas was fair, where fun wasn't stratified by money or status. As night falls, the entire city seems to dance under the lights of Rio. From the rooftop, the Strip appears like a giant billboard of the American dream, dazzling, noisy, and never-ending. Drunk couples embracing on balconies, the sound of saxophones blending with the air conditioning. Everyone felt like they belonged here. Rio isn't as cold as Wynn, nor as distant as Bellagio. It's warm, friendly, and full of human heartbeat. For the employees, Rio is not just a workplace, it's a second home. Many people recount that they once served tables while parade performers flew overhead, feeling as if they were working inside a dream. Generous tips, happy customers, colleagues like family. That was the era when Vegas belonged to everyone. When a middle-class couple can fly from Ohio here, stay for 3 nights, eat at a buffet to their heart's content, and still have money left over to go home. When a night in Rio costs less than dinner at Olive Garden, and you leave feeling like you've lived a dream. When no one cared about credit card debt, gas prices, or interest rates. Only music, laughter, and the belief that America was still bright. Rio at that time was not just a hotel, it was the beating heart of a humanized Vegas. It's a place where you might find an Elvis impersonator passionately singing in a corner, a couple who just won the jackpot hugging and crying, or a 60-year-old doorman who still remembers the names of every old customer. That's Vegas, still having a human feel, not yet overwhelmed by cold glass, profit reports, or soulless billions. And in that moment, under the lights of Rio, all of Vegas danced together. But all festivals eventually come to an end. As the Rio's lights dimmed, Vegas didn't collapse in an instant. It quietly lost its soul, bit by bit, amidst the rising new towers and the memories left behind. In the 1990s and early 2000s, Rio was an indispensable icon of Las Vegas, a must-visit for anyone wanting to fully experience the spirit of the City of Lights. This is the hotel of dazzling nights, of samba music blending with the clatter of casino coins, of famous buffets considered the best in Vegas. From nightclubs with panoramic views of the Strip, one can see the entire city glowing below. A giant shimmering carpet stretching across the Nevada desert. What makes Rio special is the legendary Carnival Festival with the Parade in the Sky performance, where artists soar through the air, showering the crowds below with candy and smiles. It wasn't just a performance, but a moment where Vegas reached its most glamorous self. A slice of Brazil in the desert, where color, music, and light blended into pure joy. When visiting Rio, tourists are not just seeking entertainment. They find a sense of familiarity and warmth, as if returning to a distant memory. But that light gradually faded. In recent years, tourists have begun to call Rio by a haunting name. A worn-out shell of its former self. An empty shell of its former self. On forums like Reddit and TripAdvisor, people sigh, "Why is Rio so bad?" Areas that were once vibrant like parade stages are now covered in a thick layer of dust. The light is dim, and a musty smell permeates the air. Many shops and bars that were once crowded are now permanently closed. On the ceiling, the track system that once lifted the soaring artists remains, silent and desolate, like a relic of a bygone golden age. Inside the main tower, most of the rooms have not yet been renovated. The old, worn carpet, the yellowed lamps, the sofa with mottled stains. Everything seems stuck in the past. The entire Rio complex still retains the classic Vegas vibe of old, but the luxury that once made it shine has faded over time. Now, it's just a bittersweet memory, like an old photograph that's lost its color. After years of decline, the Rio was sold to Hyatt, with the promise of a 0 million renovation, an impressive figure. But what was renovated was still only a small part, and visitors haven't seen any real bright spots yet. Ironically, in an era of billion-dollar projects like Sphere and Fontainebleau being hailed as the future of Vegas, Rio feels like a forgotten memory on the sidelines of the Strip. Room prices here are now unbelievably cheap, only about $25 a night, which sounds like a steal. But when you add the $60 fee and taxes, that bargain disappears. In Vegas today, a night in a cheap hotel costs as much as a steak dinner for two, and an hour in the casino can vaporize your entire electricity bill from last month. The so-called cheap is now just an illusion. Vegas still knows how to thin your wallet, but it stopped welcoming those who were once the main characters. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS 2024, employment in the hospitality industry outside the Strip has declined significantly compared to pre-pandemic levels. Average tips have fallen by over 50%, making it increasingly difficult for service workers, the very people who were once the backbone of Vegas, to make ends meet. Meanwhile, the media spotlight only shines on ultra-luxury projects, billion-dollar stages, and foreign investors, while hotels that once defined the soul of Vegas, like the Rio, are pushed out of collective memory. Rio was once a place people came to dream, to have fun, and to live life to the fullest at an affordable price. Now, it's a place people go to reminisce, to capture what's about to be lost. No more parades in the sky, no more golden buffets, only the fading memories of a bygone era, quietly passing under the still bright lights outside, where Vegas continues to tell its story, but without the voices of those who once built the city's soul. Not every light in Vegas leads to an aura. There are lights that are turned on just to better illuminate what has died. When Rio changed hands and promised the resurrection era with an investment of up to 100 million USD, people thought it would be a spectacular rebirth of an icon. But then, that dream melted like beer foam under the neon lights. Because Vegas today no longer operates according to the logic of emotions, but according to the formula of profit. The $100 million slide did not come from a single mistake, but was the result of a series of miscalculations about the times. The post-pandemic Vegas hotel market has changed profoundly. People travel less, stay shorter, and spend less. Meanwhile, billion-dollar projects like Sphere, Resorts World, or Fontainebleau capture the attention and influx of high-end visitors, leaving old areas like Rio in the grey zone that are not luxurious enough for the upper class, but also no longer affordable for middle-class people. Hyatt entered the deal believing that the renovated was the salvation of but they forgot that the soul of Vegas could not be rebuilt with new paint and new carpets. Most upgrade items are behind schedule. Many areas are still closed or operating in moderation. Visitors book rooms out of curiosity, not expectation. They came, took a few photos, then left. More like visiting a museum than a lively resort. In fact, that $100 million investment cannot save an outdated travel model. As the entire city is heading towards eventization, million-dollar concerts, sports festivals, world-class light shows, Rio remains loyal to the classic eat, sleep, gambling model. But Vegas no longer operates to that beat. A city that once sold dreams now only sells short-term experiences, and old dreams like Rio no longer have a place in that economic plan. Rio's slide also exposed the split in the modern Vegas structure. While the central strip areas are pouring billions of dollars into infrastructure, the periphery where thousands of workers once served, mid-range hotels, is struggling because of staffing cuts and tipping declines. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average income of hotel staff in the Strip area decreased significantly compared to 2019, while local tourist spending decreased continuously for 3 consecutive years. Those numbers not only reflect a down business, but an entire class that is gradually disappearing from the Vegas map. The day Rio posted the reconstruction sign, many locals no longer believed in the Vegas miracle, because they've seen so many projects that promise to bring the soul back to, then end up with new layers of paint covering the old rooms. When gold turns to dust, it is not because people do not have enough money to polish, but because the polisher has forgotten what makes it once shine. And perhaps only brands that truly understand the meaning of belonging to, like MGM Resorts with its local loyalty strategy, or Caesars Entertainment with its community incentive programs, are patient and visionary enough to recreate human value amid Vegas lights. When a city once built by faith and dreams is now only alive on a balance sheet, is there an investment big enough to buy back Vegas' lost soul? The door opens, and instead of a modern Vegas full of technology, we encounter 1994. Dim yellow lights, sunken sofas, cracked walls, small curved screen TVs, empty refrigerators, and somewhere the smell of old paint. In the recording, the host joked, "You have to walk through the wardrobe to get to the bathroom." A seemingly small detail, but a perfect metaphor for the reality of Rio, and more broadly, for Las Vegas itself stuck in its past. The feeling of time warp, like stepping through a time portal, makes many people both excited and shiver. Like it, because it brings back the memories of a simple Vegas where people still laugh. Shivering, because I realized everything seemed to have stopped for so long. Rooms in the main tower haven't been touched since the 90s, haven't been renovated in almost 3 decades. Every old detail is no longer a nostalgia, but a trace of oblivion. Vegas has innovated constantly, but now, part of the city seems to be frozen in memory. According to Clark County Development Report 2023, more than 70% of hotels outside the Strip have not been upgraded since 2010, with the majority operating in moderation or reusing old infrastructure. This is not just a story about architecture, but a sign of the aging of the entire middle-class travel system, where brands that once served the masses are no longer competitive with billion-dollar towers full of light. A room in Rio today is like an honest portrait of America after its peak. The stains are not just on the walls, but in the minds of those who believed that this country would always go up. Every burning light bulb, every frayed curtain as a reminder. We used to have a dream, we just don't have enough money left to repaint. Tourists choose Rio not because of amenities, but because of memories. They come to touch the past, a kind of emotional travel in the midst of a dizzyingly changing world. But that nostalgia cannot replace the feeling of falling behind. As one walks through that door, one not only sees the Vegas of 30 years ago, but also sees an America trying to hold on to an old version of itself. Do we keep old things because we love, or because we no longer have the ability to replace them? And a city like Vegas, can it live forever in the memory room? Vegas today is like the person standing in front of the mirror looking back at himself. Half brilliant new light, the other half faded old memories. The glass towers still rise, but their shadows cover the places that were once the heart of the city. Maybe Rio is just a hotel, but its story is a mirror for a Las Vegas that is struggling between heritage and profit, between people and formulas. As the new world continually doubles in glamour, Vegas seems to forget that what makes it special has never been the light, but the way humans make that light meaningful. If Vegas no longer belongs to the people who built it, then who does it belong to? And can the soul of this city be reborn amid artificial light? Or will it always be just a copy of the past itself? If you've ever been to Vegas or seen that light, share your memories in the comments section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to continue exploring together the stories that are slowly being buried amidst the artificial light of America. The content in this video is compiled from many public sources, including media reports, statistical data, and local people's shares. The purpose of the video is not to criticize, judge, or hold accountable any individual or organization, but to depict an authentic slice of the transformation of Las Vegas, city that was once considered a symbol of American dream. All images, figures, and narratives are used in a spirit of objectivity, neutrality, and respect for historical values, culture. The views expressed in the video are analytical, suggestive, and encourage public discussion, not an absolute assertion. In the middle of the Rio ceiling, a bent metal rail remains suspended, silently, dusted, and leads nowhere. This used to be the heart of the hotel, where artists flew over visitors' heads, tossed candy, waved, and laughed. Today, only darkness, air conditioning, and the restricted area sign remained hanging alone. Neon lights still reflect on the old steel frame, but there is no more music for it to dance to. For those who have witnessed it, that parade ground is not just a show, it is the soul of old Vegas. A time when joy was created with real people, not LED screens. Here, visitors raise their heads to see the artist, the lights, the music, all blend together like a lively festival. Every drumbeat, every ring evokes the feeling that Vegas is a place where everyone can shine. But when the show was suppressed, that spirit also went out with the lights. According to UNLV Gaming Research Report 2024, revenue from non-casino entertainment activities in Las Vegas decreased by more than 18% compared to 2019, while casino and conference revenue still increased. The number seems small, but it exposes the profound truth. Vegas is losing the art of living that once set it apart from every city in the world. When every experience is commercialized and every pleasure is measured by ROI, the only thing left is the insensitive light of the billboard. The parade rails are still there, like the scar on the ceiling, evidences of a time when people danced for faith, not KPIs. Former employees said that the day the show stopped, they cried. Not because I lost my job, but because Vegas lost its own heart. And just like that, from that moment, every corner of Rio became quiet, like the city had lost its heartbeat. When the drumbeat is off, what's strong enough to pull the Vegas heartbeat back? And if the government is no longer interested in the arts space, what will Vegas have left but billboards that know how to flash but don't know how to feel? The first sound that sounded when the leader entered Rio's business district is the sound of air conditioning. No people, no music, only the sound of the wind passing through the dark hallway. In a city once known as where never sleep, that silence sounds like a confession. The store boxes, which used to be lit up with lights for souvenirs, jewelry, and compact cocktails, are now sealed with wooden planks. A few gift shops are still standing. Besides, wine cellar is closed and food court is almost empty. In the middle of that scene, a strange image of an automatic cake vending machine and a mystery box shelf priced at $75 to $150 stood out. They are like the remnants of industrialized joy, a kind of emotionless entertainment, replacing the joy humans once found here. The dark hallways and musty smell make Rio look like a luxurious post-apocalyptic world, where everything still sparkles with gold, but the soul has left. The searchlight from the ceiling reflected on the patchy floor, as if Vegas was looking at itself in an old mirror, saw it all, but didn't want to admit it. However, among the empty aisles, there are still people returning to, not to gamble, but to say goodbye to a part of their life's memories. Many older guests come just to look back at the place where they used to hold weddings, eat buffets, watch shows. To them, Rio is not just a hotel, it is a witness of the years of America as brilliant. A 64-year-old maintenance worker shared, "We dust every day, but the dust still comes back, like Vegas keeps denying its past." That statement serves as a summary for the entire city. A hopeless attempt to clean up the vestiges of time without changing the inner core. When Vegas is chasing future light, brilliant spheres, new casinos like Fontainebleau worth billions of dollars. These same old places keep the most authentic part of Vegas. Not because they're beautiful, but because they're still breathing. Every empty hallway, every dim light bulb is a repository of a generation's memories. Something no LED billboard can reproduce. From afar, Rio looked like he had just woken up from a long sleep. The lights were on again. The new sign sparkled, the roulette table spinning under the shiny new paint. But with just a few steps, we will see another Vegas. Peeling walls, cracked floors, and areas blocked with under renewal indefinitely. It's the Vegas of two worlds. On one side is the ostentatious light. On the other side is the fading memory trying to breathe amidst the new paint. Half of the resort has been commissioned. The other half remains locked. Many hallways were empty, the room doors were covered with dust, and the signage was temporarily written with a marker. According to the Points Guy 2025, Hyatt currently only operates about 70% of room capacity. The rest are not qualified for commercial exploitation. That reflects a clear reality. Vegas does not lack the money to fix, but lacks the philosophy to regenerate. In such a scene, it is easy to confuse reproduction and lipstick. Externally, Rio displays a new look with LED lights and Hyatt Regency signs. Inside, old ceiling patches and open pipes serve as reminders that true beauty cannot be repainted on a budget. Vegas, in the current version, is like a person who recently had more polished, cosmetic surgery, but the eyes are no longer alive. This is not just the story of a hotel. It is a symbol of the tug of war between two Vegas. A Vegas of people who worked, performed, and dreamed. And a Vegas of stocks, conferences, investors, and financial reports. A city that once lived for its people now seems to exist only to resell packaged emotions. If Vegas no longer belongs to the people who built it, then who does it belong to? And can the soul of this city be reborn amidst artificial light, or just continue to reflect back what it has lost?